What's up, everyone? Back again, another episode, joined by D and Q. How we doing tonight?
What's up, y'all?
Man, I'm good. All good. Live from Spain, 10:19 p.m. Let's get it.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
We made it through the week.
D's Friday is basically over, though, but it is Friday. But, all right, first topic we're going to talk about tonight is Jalen Johnson opting out, 3/4 of the way into the season, I would say. What were you guys' thoughts on this? I'm going to pull up Isaiah Thomas's tweet while you guys can discuss your initial thoughts on this.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was kind of disappointed with it, especially coming in like this late into the season. You would think that he would just kind of finish the season out, and he was battling a foot injury. He was obviously a huge focal point for the team. He was averaging 12 points, 6 rebounds. And he was a highly touted recruit. So I think everybody's entitled to their own decision, but personally, I would have stuck it out. I think Jalen should have stuck it out. I know Duke was struggling, but I mean, they gave him a scholarship. He's a great player. I think that if he just would have finished the season out, it just kind of takes distractions away from that team and from Coach K. But now, since he opted out, it's just kind of like it looks like there's a fallout within that program. So I hope the best for the kid. He's very young. He obviously has some NBA potential, but personally, I think he should have stuck it out.
D?
I think for me, it's like 2 points. Like some of the points I would say is like similar to college football and similar to this happens a lot of times, mostly in college football, where players would decide to opt out, like the bowl game.
Yeah.
Because the football season is shorter, it's a little different, but it's a similar thing, like opting out because you have say if you have so much potential to be a number one pick. A lot of people would say like, oh, you should not play. That would be, because essentially the NCAA is, kind of on a downfall with athletes, with the whole not paying athletes and everything. So essentially, like people would say not to play. And it's not because of Duke, because of NCAA, especially if he's going to be, like a top 10 or a lottery pick. They say if he does get hurt or something like that, he could lose out on a lot of money. So that's like one of my points. And the other point is like going back to earlier this week, what we talked about is just the trend of sports. Like,
yeah,
the players have so much leverage now where it's just like, if you have the freedom to make any choice you want, like if you like where this wouldn't have been a thing like a long time ago, like whatever choice you want to make, you can make it. And people can say whatever they want, but it doesn't matter because they can't do anything about it. So just those 2 points of like how, once again, how is this different from, the college football stuff? Obviously, if he started the season in basketball, most times this is abnormal. He should finish it, but it's just like the trend of sports, you don't want to do something where you think whatever is best for you as an individual. We're so individual now. We're so focused on just ourselves, it seems like, and especially in sports, team sports.
For sure. I think Isaiah Thomas, so his original tweet was basically like, everyone's going to praise this too, watch. He then had a follow-up tweet, which I think is pretty spot on. He said, I get the risk and the reward part too. I'm all for the player. College is bullshit anyways. All I'm saying is even if you don't play rest of the season, write it out with your brothers and support your team, then make your decision to go pro, which I think that actually is a better, like, I think even like Q, he did have a foot injury, like you said. And that's like a point of like, yeah, this guy's probably going to be a first round draft pick. So I understand not wanting to play. Duke sucks too right now. So it's like, you're not going to make the tournament, but like, I think you should at least like, it's only like 3 more weeks. Like you don't have to play. Just say your foot's bothering you, and then.
Is he not going to be with the team though? Is he not?
I'm pretty sure he stepped away from the. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's
also a thing too. In college sports, when they start preparing for the NBA stuff, you kind of leave too. So I guess that stuff's inevitable.
Right.
But then you have cases where, like, let's just say Bonzi. Bonzi had a foot injury. He was a preseason All-American, came back too fast, hurt his foot again. Bonzi could have been an All-American. He could have been the ACC Player of the Year, and he probably could have been a very high draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
But because of his injuries, like he's still going to have a great career, but his trajectory probably would have been different if, I don't know, say if he was just healthy in general, or say if he get re-injured. So
for sure. I just think though, like, I think I do get like, yeah, like he was gonna leave and go train anyways, but like I think just like, I don't know. I mean, as a freshman, I don't think you develop the same bonds as if like you were a junior. Like, you ride with those guys that you came in with. Obviously, like just being a freshman is not as much cohesiveness, and especially if your team's not that good, I don't think you really get that. So like, I don't think that he might necessarily have had the, my brother. Like, I don't think he's necessarily thinking my brother's like that. Like, I don't think he has like, like a team like Gonzaga who has 5 seniors who all came in together and they've been together through it all. But I do think like I think you could wait 2 more, 3 more weeks and just not
Agreed.
play. I don't think you have to play because I agree. Like, he does have a foot injury, and like to your point, D, of coming back too early, if he hurts it really bad, like it could drop him to a late second round pick, and that's a difference of a lot of millions of dollars. So I would never argue with a player doing that. I just think he could have stuck it out a little longer just to be with the team.
Agreed.
Yeah. What do you think too about wait, I'm not actually, never mind. We can keep going forward.
But to your point too, like Jalen Smith, I mean, you remember him when he played against Ohio State in the bowl game, he cost himself, I mean, a top 5 pick.
He dropped to a second round pick.
Yeah. So like, yeah, he did. So
he still got paid, but he would have easily been, I guess everything happens. But
he would have been a top 3 pick.
Easily been top pick.
Yeah. So, and that's, I mean, yeah, he did get paid
on an ass team though.
He did get paid, and he ended up getting a big contract. But he's one of the only players to like actually have like a very strong.
Yeah, he's a unique generational talent.
Well, not just that, he had a very good like life insurance policy. Like, he was like one of the athletes that actually took a very solid one out, and it paid out for him. But yeah, I just, it's but to your point too, D. I mean, I think we'll see this more and more. Honestly, like maybe these kids will just start playing more G League. We saw some players do it, but maybe more will just do it and like really not care.
I remember the point I was going to make. I was going to say too, also, I feel like a lot of times in these circumstances, it's not the player, pretty much the player can only base his decision making off of what he's been taught, what he's been told. Like, right. For example, these kids are taught so much more different. Like, when we watch basketball now, the players who are praised are the players that can ISO get a bucket, shoot threes and score. Those are the only, like, we'd never see nobody that's diving on the floor being praised as much as, a guy who can get an ISO bucket. We never see guys who are lock-up defenders or the gritty guys, like get this praise. So essentially, and also too, coaches, youth coaches, AAU coaches, anything, like, they make it so, like, I've had coaches tell me in my past, and some of it is good. I will say some of it is good because it'll teach you to be more aggressive and assertive. And a lot of times that's what you need, and that's what I needed. But I will say there was times where I would come back from the G League and, I would only have a certain amount of points, but I did a lot of other stuff to help the team win. Not to mention all the variables of, like, I haven't been with the team practicing. And I would come back and I had coaches telling me, like, oh, Dan, you only had 14 points, not knowing that, I was like almost at a triple double. They'd be like, man, you can't be scoring 14. You got to get 30, 40. You know what I mean? So then luckily it helped me put myself into just an aggressive mindset. So I would do more of already what I was doing. But there's some players out there that when you tell them that, now they think they got to shoot every shot.
Yeah, for sure.
And essentially, long story short, it's not all the players' fault because they're doing what they've been taught. So it's more like a system thing. Like, maybe we should just teach the people better. Maybe we should, like in Europe, the game is taught a lot different. It's more of a team game. Maybe, but the players are very, skillful. All the bigs can shoot. It's not just all athleticism. So maybe we should teach the game with a little more skill and knowledge going forward too.
I agree with that because, like, to your point, like Jalen Johnson is supposed to be a top 15 pick, and I watched him play against like Miami of Florida, and he scored like 15 and 10 rebounds.
Mhm.
He was like a minus 20 in his minutes because like he didn't play any help defense, like nothing in terms of team wise. And it was just he's gonna throw the ball up, he's gonna post up, he's gonna go get it, and he's gonna go get his. And it's like I have such a big problem like with these guys who rank these NBA prospects because like at some point, like you have to factor in making winning basketball plays. Like I think there's so many guys who might go under the radar that just know how to make winning basketball plays. But like it's like, oh, he's not 6'9" and can jump and has this, but it's like, yeah, but the guy knows how to play basketball. And I think we see so many times these rookies come in with that and they get thrown in there. And like to your point of skill wise, they don't necessarily have it, but they can jump out of the gym and are 6'9" with a crazy wingspan, and they get thrown in the NBA where it's every other player can do that. Then they look like they don't belong at all, and they're set up to fail.
Like all rankings now are just based on pure potential,
right?
And size and just the intangibles, what they foresee you doing in the future. But like you said, to Dee's point, to Michael's point, these guys aren't taught to make basketball plays. There's a lot of coaches, parents, friends that are telling these young kids they got to go get a bucket. Like they don't care if you're trying to get an offensive rebound or dive on the floor. Like you're gonna get paid if you get buckets. That's just what these kids are taught.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And to that point too, maybe if maybe if it was a little different and guys were taught, more skillful stuff, maybe we'd see longer NBA careers. The average NBA career, I think, is only 4 years. So a lot of times, like these guys are in and out in less than 4 years. And like speaking from my own experience, it's tough to be on a bunch of different teams, struggling when basketball, sometimes as a player, you feel like that's all you really have. So like maybe we just see longer careers and like maybe guys would stick and we wouldn't see so much of like a player in the NBA 1 year and then we don't even know where he is the next year at all. So long story short,
happens a lot.
Yeah, like there's so many players that, are on a team and then next thing they're just gone.
Well, yeah, because I mean, to that point, there's 50 guys that are 2 years younger that they can just plug in and see if they reach their potential. So they're just, they're just plug in.
Potential every year.
Exactly.
Like you could have a player who produced, and then, I mean, look at, you have a player that could produce, you have a great player, and you just grab him because you think he has potential, but then you just grab another player the next year. Like
look at Carson Edwards and Tremont Waters, and now Peyton Pritchard's playing over them. So,
and now, like, say a couple bad moves for them, and now they got to go somewhere they don't fit, and before you know it, now they're not on an NBA roster at all anymore.
I mean, even Romeo Langford, he was a first-round draft pick in with those guys, and he got hurt, and now he probably just lost his spot because of it. Like it's a wild. The NBA is wild in terms of that because, like you said, it is insane how much like potential is. Like Jalen Brunson won College Player of the Year, went undrafted. He's having a pretty good NBA career right now. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people who are out of the NBA in his draft that you could have taken him over, but maybe one day it'll change and it'll go back to basketball meaning more than being able to jump. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. But all right, let's move on. Next topic. Draymond Green was pretty outspoken about, which I think he was very correct in, about how basically like people can't get mad at players for making player decisions and thinking about themselves because you see these owners trade everyone, tell them that they're not going to get traded. People get traded on the bench in the middle of a game, like all this stuff. And, you can't say it's a business for one part and then get mad when players make business decisions, which I thought he was completely right in. And I think all these, like every owner always preaches it's a business until the business backfires on them and a player makes a decision that is in their best interest. And then the owner's like, well, what are we doing? And I don't even think it's like this opt-out things. I just think it's like Blake Griffin is sitting out, which he should. If you're sitting there telling me I'm gonna be traded and I might go to a good playoff team, why would I go play right now when we're the worst team in the league? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes, Mark Cuban always talks about how he's always for the player, for the player, for the player. Harrison Barnes was literally in the middle of a game and got traded. How many times do we see guys that they look people in the eye and say, hey, you're not going to be traded, and a day later a multi-player package deal goes in and that guy's traded? I just think it's just like with anything else. They love when it works for them, but the moment players start to like kind of look out for themselves, think for themselves, then they're like, well, I don't know if this is how the trend should be for the league. And it's like, no, you just don't have complete control, so you're against it. But so I completely agree with how Draymond Green went about everything. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on it were, but
Yeah, I completely agree with it as well. And to your point, it's just kind of like a double standard. Like if things don't go your way as an owner or a GM, then they give these players the bad looks. And I just think everything is so elevated now because of the day and age that we're in with social media and fans and just everything gets blown out of proportion now. Like none of this is really new. Like players have always wanted to, demand trades or get out of a situation that,
I think the MJ doc was a perfect reminder to everyone, like
Jerry Krause,
because like my dad says it sometimes. He's like, oh, this never happened back when they played, and then the doc came out and I'm like, they might have been worse than they are nowadays. They complain. It's just they don't have social media tweeting every time something happened.
Yeah, so everything is now blown out of proportion, and I just think I agree with what Draymond said. Players need respect, and this is not going to stop. None of this is not going to stop. It's been ongoing for years. So hopefully, things can just kind of dwindle down, and there can be a mutual respect, but there's always going to be a double standard between owners and players.
For sure.
I had a situation in my career when I was with the Celtics, and I remember I prepared so much. Like, and you guys that came and visited me over the summertime. I went home for 2 weeks after the season ended. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals on from 2 weeks, and then came right back and started
training with them every day.
There was not a single person at the gym but me for a couple months before people started coming in. I was in the gym working out before the draft, the draft workouts, and I remember going into summer league, I worked so hard, and I remember my first summer league game. Well, first off, I was told, go before going into summer league, they're like, yeah, the team. I had a trigger date. In my contract, and the team had told my agent, we're going to keep him. So they told me, we're going to keep you past the trigger date, which means I would have went on to the roster next year. The GMs and owners and people had been in watching my workouts, watching me grind all summer, were impressed, blah, blah, blah. And I went into summer league, like, I'm good, no pressure. Let's have fun. Let's just win. I just want to win, help this team. I'm playing with Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, those guys. And I remember training camp came. I felt good competing against everybody. Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart stopped in and practiced with us. But going into summer league, the very first game, I had to sit out. They say, yeah, my individual coach, he's like, yeah, you can't play tonight. I've been working hard all summer long. He said, you can't play tonight. I said, why not? He said, some stuff going on. They might trade you. Like, keep in mind, like, not even this long ago, they told me I was going to be with the team next year.
Right.
And not only that, I've been working my tail off all summer long. And then they told me, yeah, you might be, packaging the trade with, some of those guys who were getting traded, like, Jay Crowder and all those guys, Avery. And so, they told me I couldn't play. So I sat out our first 2 games in the Utah Summer League, just sat there, watched, cheered. It was, that's part of the game. Sometimes you got to sit, but it like messed with my head so much. And then when we went to Vegas, I got that reassurance again. They said, okay, you can suit up. You're ready to go. Let's do it. Let's rock, have fun. So I finally got to play. When I was on the floor, our team went undefeated. And then, I kid you not, I got that phone call like before it was like one of our last games. We were like 5-0 when I played. And I got the call 4-0, 5-0, something like that. I got the call, they told me they were going to be waiving me, slid the little termination paper under the door. And everybody, like, I had a lot of relationships there. But that was tough, man, and it's just crazy because like it's a business, you know what I mean? But on the flip side, you would think that somebody's word would like mean something. And so just memories, but I've been on the bad end of, I don't want to say bad business, but bad communication, I guess, in the business. And I've been led astray. And so I don't want to say I know how these players like Harrison Barnes and those guys feel, but I know it can be easy because I remember how I felt when it happened to me. So like just imagine getting traded, like you're in mid game, you're thinking about like, dang, I gotta drive hard, I gotta help, I gotta rebound. And then they tell you like, yeah, you're done for the night. Go, hit the shower. Like crazy, bro. It's crazy.
But like,
man.
How would you stay sane when you're giving everything you have to win a game, competing, just normal? It's just like subconsciously moving about life. And then next thing you know, you get woken up by somebody tapping on your shoulder, like, yeah, you're done for the night.
And it's to your point too, like, I mean, you would think somebody's word is bond. And so you're going into the training camp and summer league, like trying to go hard. You're prepping for the season for the Celtics.
Man,
so
trying to earn minutes.
Yeah. So now now if they tell you like, hey, Demetrius, you're potentially on the trade block, you're not going to go as hard.
They told me.
You're not going to want to go as hard though. You're going to be like,
told me
I'm not showing up.
They didn't tell me about the trade block. They told me that I was good. So I'm like, I'm good then. You know what I mean? Not only that, they told me about the trade. I got waived. I wasn't even that's the biggest thing. I wasn't even packaged in a trade deal. I got the worst possible outcome. Like, not only did I get, and it's all good, everybody viewing this, there's no hard feelings there. But what I'm saying is, like, I didn't even get traded. If I would have got traded, that would have been better than getting waived, because at least you would have been, went into somewhere else. They would have, obviously, they traded you for a reason. They maybe had interest, so it would have been a different situation. But, my journey's made me who I am. I'm privileged to be in my own journey. But they told me I was getting traded. I'm like, okay, it's not the worst thing in the world. At least I'll go somewhere where they can maybe play me.
I was gonna say, I think honestly, if you get told you're gonna get traded, you might still play hard, just because like you might get waived if you don't play hard. Then like if they say we don't want you, so like I think getting traded is still, I mean, someone at least wants you. You still are on contract, all that kind of thing. But yeah, getting waived. But to your point of like, you would think words mean anything. If like anything that owners in any professional sports, if they treated regular business in the workforce like that, every one of their companies might go under or would have the greatest turnover rate in company's history, because just no one else gets treated like your word is word in the business world. So it's like, for people to act like, oh, these guys are playing basketball, like let's, suck it up. It's like, dude, if you were getting treated like that at your job, you would quit in a second and go find another job. Like, so it's just like, it's crazy how, I don't know, but maybe we'll see a change, because like we've been saying, players have been speaking out more and players are like in control more. And I think agents and I think like Rich Paul and all them are kind of like looking out for players way more in the past, or way more now than agents might have been in the past and stuff. So who knows? I hope so.
The worst part about the whole thing for me is like, so they called me, told me I'm getting waived. They they put the paper under the door or whatever for your termination. Then I got a call. Like, this was on the day of the game. So we had a game that day.
Bro, why can't they tell you like face to face?
This was on the day of the game, bro. So I'm
like
doing
a
my
piece
routine.
of paper.
I haven't talked to I haven't talked to anybody. I'm doing my routine, trying to get focused. So they told me. So then when I got the phone call and that, like, I was out of it. I was like, whoa, what just happened? Like, it happened so fast. I was like the SpongeBob meme, the Mr. Krabs meme, where he's like dizzy. Like, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Yeah. Not only that, they called me and said, hey, if you want to still play in the game tonight, you can. And I was like my head was like not in the right space to play. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. How could you play?
They said you can.
They told me, yeah, after the game, like I'm gonna be waived, but they told me I can still play in the game
Oh
today.
yeah, okay.
Like you can
That
still
would have
suit
been,
up. Like
that would have been so hard to play.
I'm like, is everything like? Am I still gonna be the starting guard? Like, what's going? Like, why would you start me if I'm not gonna be with the team?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
so I'm just wondering. I'm like, yo, what? And then yeah, it was tough. Like I remember they told me I could still. They were like, yeah, you can still play. And then my agents calling like, you should play. You know, it'd be. I'm like, bro, do you not understand what just like, you know what I mean? Like how I'm feeling right now is crazy.
Yeah.
But
To Michael's point, I I just think it's such a huge business decision. They should have told you face to face or called
That's
you
what I'm
into an
saying.
office.
A piece of
Like
paper?
you can't slip a piece of paper out of the door and run
under
away.
my
Like
piece
what
of paper under my Vegas hotel in
you
some
getting
movie.
like detention in ninth grade? Like what I
Yeah,
don't
but swipe the paper
I
and
got
then
a piece of
just get
paper.
out of there.
And
I
then I
don't
remember I still have the voicemail from Brad. Brad called me, and you know the coaches. I still have it. The coaches. Sometimes coaches are not really necessarily involved in those decisions. Sometimes they
right.
are. But I still have the voicemail from Brad Stevens when he called me. You know, after I got waived, I wasn't answering my phone if anybody called me because I was out of it. But he left me like a long voicemail and everything. So.
Yeah.
No, long story short, like I was saying to all the viewers, I'm grateful for my own journey, but I can only imagine that like what I dealt with was probably a fraction as difficult as guys like what we're on topic about Andre, Harrison Barnes,
Well,
Isaiah Thomas, just these
I was
players.
gonna say Isaiah Thomas, like we saw, he had that little documentary and they filmed him when he got the call. And then Derrick Rose, you remember when he got the call too, and he was
that
like
was
just
messed up.
absolutely devastated. Like so I mean it's difficult regardless for sure, but it is what it is, I guess. Hopefully it does change a little bit. I just think that
Well, that's why I'm pro player because
yeah,
my own
100%.
experience is like shit. They don't give a damn about me. So my own experience is like shit. I don't, you know what I mean? Like every time, like I remember when KD left, I was happy. Like yeah, go KD, go get you a ring. Like anytime I see a player decide to do what's best for them with respect, to at like because a player can easily just say I don't want to be here. Let me go to this team, and I respect it. So I wasn't mad when KD left. Everybody, I'm like shoot, because in a heartbeat, if he wasn't driving the lane, dunking or they who knows if they would have traded him or not in a couple of years if he didn't win them a championship. So
For sure.
KD, I said, when I see guys do what they want, even when LeBron leaves, I don't want to say I'm a supporter or against it. I'm like pro player, always pro player.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree for sure. So what was it? Last night they announced the All-Star starters. KD was the East captain and LeBron is the West captain. So they will do the little draft again with the pool of players. The rest of the starters, I'm trying to find it.
Is James Harden in the Eastern All-Star?
He doesn't know yet. I don't think they came out with the rest of the players.
No,
yet.
they just announced the starters.
Yeah, it's just the starters.
The West starters are Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, LeBron, obviously is the captain, Kawhi Leonard, and Nikola Jokic. And the East starters.
What's crazy? He just turned 26 today.
I know.
Who did?
Jokic, bro. He's the same age as you, Q.
That's crazy.
Getting a duffel.
Yeah, he is.
East is what? KD, Giannis, Joel, Bradley, and Kyrie. So then the East had Jason Tatum basically finished 4th, and Jimmy Butler finished 5th in terms of the front court, and then James Harden finished 3rd, and Zach LaVine finished 4th for the guards, and then the West had Anthony Davis finished 4th, and Paul George finished 5th in the front court. Damian Lillard finished 3rd, and Donovan Mitchell finished 4th.
They got. What do they have? Paul George listed as?
Small
forward. Yeah.
Oh
wow. I honestly have only one problem with it all, and I think Damian Lillard should have been in over Luka.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. I mean, Luka's putting up ridiculous numbers too, but
yeah, but like I don't know. At some point, I think winning needs to matter, especially if you're putting up crazy numbers too. Like Damian Lillard's putting up crazy numbers too, and his team's better.
Facts.
Yes. So then, should Donovan Mitchell be a starter too? It's
No,
the Jazz
because I don't think he's that efficient of a player. Damian Lillard is efficient.
But then why? I guess when you make that argument, why wouldn't a player who's putting up ridiculous numbers, the best numbers, but his team is one of the worst teams? Why isn't he in MVP consideration? You know, like say, like this happens all the time. Like players
Brad
put
Beal?
numbers, but their team's ass. So they
Are you
don't.
asking me?
I'm just saying, yeah. I'm just saying in general, like the NBA works so weird, bro. Like how they always have an agenda. Like they always have an agenda. Luka,
I agree. I don't think I think your team should have to win for you to win the MVP.
Yeah.
I think
But
it should be
Luka,
the criteria for both. I don't think you're like MVP winning should 100% matter, especially in basketball.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that the NBA does not have a standard. They just have their own agenda, and whatever their agenda is for that season, that's what they're right with. Like when Zion was doing this, like when John Moran was doing this thing, and Zion came in, like they made it so Zion was gonna, you know what I mean? Like same thing with LaMelo Ball a little bit, and those guys all deserve a lot of the credit they get, all the credit they get. But I will say, like going into this year, Luka Doncic was the favorite, like one of the favorites to win MVP. So they're gonna push that agenda as much as they can because that's what's gonna sell.
Also, like the biggest, so it's fan ranked, player ranked, media ranked, and Luka beat Damian in fan rank, so that put him above. But Damian beat Luka in player rank and media rank. So the fan vote will get you in. Wow. But I agree with you.
Fan vote got that. I mean, he has a wide reach.
I agree with you though. Like they definitely want the whole offseason, all you did hear about is how Luka could be 3 straight year MVP, all that kind of stuff. So they definitely want him to perform very well because that's gonna Spain, probably everyone or wherever he's from. What is it from? Is it Slovenia?
I think he played in Spain. Yeah, he played in Spain.
Yeah, played for Real Madrid in Spain.
Yeah, so everyone's definitely gonna watch him. But for me,
he's selling money makes the world go around. You know, like
last year, Brad Beal definitely should have made it.
But yeah, that was just what I was about to say. Brad Beal is putting up the same numbers he did last year and missed the All-Star game, and he's putting up crazy numbers again.
Say that again, though. Not just didn't start, he didn't make the All-Star game.
Didn't even make the game.
Yeah, bro, he wasn't on their agenda. But this year they pushed it so hard,
now he's a starter.
So much noise around it that they couldn't. It was inevitable. They are undeniable. They couldn't deny him anymore because
same with Damian Lillard in the past.
Everyone was so pissed when Brad did not make it. So they 100%. I agree with you. We're not going to let it. If he played that well again, they were not going to let it slip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just it's people whose job it is to probably monitor just the buzz. You know what I mean? And buzz around a certain something, they have to get a hold on it. Like the NBA is so much money involved in it that they have this agenda and they have to keep that money flowing.
To that point, I think Rudy Gobert should have been a little higher.
Yep. Like I told you, I think he gets in, especially if Anthony Davis is hurt and he can't make the All-Star game, then Rudy Gobert for sure will get in.
14, 3, and 3.
14, 3, and 3.
Blocks. He averages 14 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks a game.
Oh, I thought he's averaging 3 rebounds.
No. I was
about to say, bro.
He's getting in.
That and his team does have the best record. That's what I'm saying. You'll see teams get multiple All-Stars and their team is 8th or 12th in the East. And then you'll see the Jazz get 1 and it's how does that make any sense? You know, but the Jazz, they're 24-5. They're the best record by 4 games. They deserve 2 players, I think, in the All-Star game.
I wonder what the jerseys will look like this year. if Jordan's going to sponsor or Jordan's Jumpman logo will be on the jerseys.
I think they're like I'm pretty sure I saw last year like as long as Nike's sponsoring the NBA, his logo will be on the All-Star jerseys every year.
So do you guys agree with the All-Star format? You know, last year they had like a point cap, like they had to reach. You know what I mean? Do you guys like that or no?
I think it makes it more interesting. We got 4 minutes left, but I'll just go quick. I think it just makes it more interesting, like the end of the game, because like last year we all saw like the end of the game was super exciting.
Competitive, yeah.
Yeah, so I like it, I guess, for the end of the game.
I think when you can tell a person the end goal, they work harder to get there. But if you just tell them just go out and play, they won't necessarily go as hard. So just like if somebody told you got to work till 3:30, you know what I mean, when that finish line is, so you can kind of,
And if you add extra 30 minutes after you got to 3:22, you probably loaf around the next 30 minutes. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Q, do you like it?
I like it. I watched the All-Star game with Demetrius last year, and I think that it was super competitive, man. Mm-hmm. Like Kyle Lowry was taking charges. The best players were guarding each other. I think they should do it again, and they also did it for charity too. Like,
that was cool.
They continue to do stuff like that.
Players who won are the ones who, like, a lot of those guys try to turn it on. It was too late. Like Brian, they try to turn it on, and they're all capable of it, but they're playing against the best of the best. So they try to turn it on. You're too close to the finish line, so you got to go harder from earlier.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it will. I do think to that point of turning it on, like, I do think maybe now we'll start to see maybe like the third quarter get super interesting, because then they're going to turn it on then. Like, they might not wait till, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So I think it will be interesting.
Guys go hard this year, because I know a lot of guys don't want to play. What do y'all think? The guys go hard, or do they just, whatever?
I don't think they do. I think they might maybe towards the end, but like you said, I mean, there's been every star basically speak out and say he does not want to go there. So that'll be interesting. But I mean, maybe if they change some things support
I think their mindset will change once they get to the All-Star format. Like, they're going to be on national TV. It's the All-Star game. I mean, they're not gonna just lollygag.
Yeah, but like to LeBron's point, like he's in year like 19. He doesn't give a shit about, like, he does, but like not like pandemic year All-Star game, like when they weren't even, they didn't even think they were gonna have one. So it'll be interesting. Do you think
Miller, All-Star MVP?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him going definitely hard for sure.
Brad Beal.
Or Brad Beal, yeah. But all right, we'll be back next week. So subscribe, tune in next week. Peace.
All right, y'all.